Serving up a warm dish of the Triad's culinary fare, here's your weekly helping of food, news, and views. This is The Man Who Ate the Town.
Hey folks, and welcome to episode 202 of the Man Who Ate the Town podcast. This is for the week of June 14th through the 20th, 2021. My name is Tim Beeman.
My name's Ray Morgan.
And we're opening this recipe trunk. We are recording this episode of The Man Who Ate the Town in the less desirable studios in the lab at Industry Hill. Not at my house today. We are still practicing social distancing and using Zoom, sponsored by Bull's Tavern. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcatchers like Apple Podcast, Stitcher, Spotify, or anything like that, we'd appreciate a like, a follow, a rating, anything they'll let you do. We would appreciate it. It would help us tremendously. And if you're listening to us on the Triad Podcast Network, welcome and thank you. This episode of The Man Who Ate the Town is brought to you by Diamondback Grill, which is casual dining located in the heart of Buena Vista in Winston-Salem. It is a fantastic family-owned farm-to-fork restaurant that sources most of its ingredients from local farmers. Try one of their themed menu specials. Each day is a different theme, and they have this week shaken up their theme nights. I don't know what those are. I will get that from Kimberly in the next little bit. I just know that Dean was going through them really quickly Saturday when we ate there. I will, like I said, get that from Kimberly. But speaking of Kimberly, she wanted me to pass along some information. Diamondback is doing Theme Thursdays from this Thursday, June 17th through July 29th. This Thursday's theme is summer wine tasting with the opportunity to purchase wine at cost. $25 at cost. Yeah. $25 ticket for all events. This includes the wine and or beer tastings when they happen, plus heavy hors d'oeuvres. There will be a cash bar available if you don't want the wine, you want your regular cocktails. Customers are welcome to stay and order dinner as well, and if they do that, then Diamondback will give a percentage of their proceeds from the dinner service to the Community Care Center.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. Also, the Novant Mobile Vaccine Clinic will be there this Thursday from 5:30 to 8:30, and there is a second dose. If you've not had any doses and you want one, the second dose will be July 8th after this one. Raffles and giveaways will be happening on Theme Thursday nights as well. So it's good beverages, good atmosphere, and you will have a great time. And it's just good people doing good things.
Did you say wine was at cost?
Yes, wine was at cost. Yes, bottles of wine. Yeah.
You know that's a deal.
Yes.
Wine lovers, pay attention.
I highly recommend Diamondback for your big and small events, a romantic dinner with your honey, or just go have a drink and appetizers, enjoying the ambiance and welcoming decor. Diamondback Grill is at 751 Avalon Road. Find them on the web at diamondbackgrill.com and on Facebook and Instagram. To make resis for this event, call 336-722-0006. So everyone still is hiring, so get a job. There's plenty to get.
Yeah.
Big news this week, sad news for the community. Cloverdale Kitchen, which opened its doors in 1968, will close those doors permanently this Friday, June 18th.
Oh, man.
I'm sure it's part pandemic, but maybe looking for something new. I know that the current owner-managers, that's the grandsons, I think, of the founder, said that, quote, in their case, they're dumping their aprons in the laundry basket instead of hanging them up. So I don't know if that means that they're going to get washed proverbially and they do something else, but to me it sounds like something else could be in the making.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, I don't know what that could be, but if I find out, I'll tell you. I think I ate there at Cloverdale Kitchen one time, and clearly it wasn't enough for me to remember. I'm not a huge fan of the kitchen diner things.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind them, but it's not my favorite thing. And I think that was with my ex-wife like 20 years ago. It just wasn't on my radar. Their social media has been lacking, which has hampered the way that Leah and I keep up with happenings at establishments. But still, it's been a fixture in this town for a long, long time, and it's sad to see them go. So.
Well, and it's the sort of place where they've got their regulars, the folks who are coming in every day, folks who are coming in a couple times a week. I mean, it's just one of those little neighborhood restaurants that has always done well. I'm sure their clientele has begun to age out. So I hate to see them go, because there's a lot of folks that have relied on them for a long time.
Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, that shopping center, my goodness, the amount of traffic that's there. Something new and fresh could really take off right there in that little corner.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know why, while the pandemic shutdown was happening, they were completely locked down, not even doing takeout or anything like that. And because we went by there once and they were closed. So I'm sure that had something to do with it, but it sounds like, just if I'm reading between lines, it sounds like there's something else happening here.
Yeah, they've got something up their sleeve, so I'm curious to learn what that'll be.
Yeah, me too. Cowboy Brazilian Steakhouse is under attack.
Uh-oh.
Allegedly, there is a recently fired former employee that is a bit disgruntled and is posting pictures of quote unquote unsanitary conditions in the kitchen and more. It was then joined by several other former employees that he probably had a little bit of influence with. So Cowboy this morning or this week posted a picture of their sanitation grade, and it's a 97. I know this county, and they aren't lenient, so that 97 was fought for and hard.
You have to earn that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, I can tell you, I have personally been in that kitchen, and it was never in a place where I'd be like, oh, God, it's nasty.
Right.
Now, it was always top drawer. They run a great operation over there.
So if you see posts about the conditions being bad as far as sanitation, then they're probably erroneous. Cowboy did say that the uniforms pictured in the undesirable photos, and I've not seen these photos, haven't even been used in like over a year. So take that for what it's worth. They're posting old pictures that don't even matter. So I just wanted to put out there that that's what Cowboys is saying. I haven't been there. I don't know. They took a picture and it said it had their name on the certificate. So they're a 97. Don't listen to posts that may or may not be retaliation for being terminated. So I tried JJ's mobile kitchen finally. I know Jerome's been trying to get me to his truck for a while. And honestly, I've been hesitant since we have the amazing Mions as sponsor over at Mojito Latin Soul Food. More on them later. So Jerome was at Wise Man, and I was picking up beer for the Less Desirables last Wednesday. So I had his Cuban. And I want to say that I really liked his Cuban. It's slightly different than mojitos, but it was good. He used yellow mustard, the Swiss, the pulled pork, smoked ham on Cuban bread that came from Miami, I think, or Publix is a Florida-based grocery store. So he said he uses the sometimes it's from some bakery in Miami, and sometimes it's Publix traditionals or something. It's something that they do, authentic stuff. It was grilled up nicely. It was big. It was good. I'm still going, not because they're my sponsor, but I'm still going with Mojito overall. But this is certainly worth having, and you should look for his truck, JJ's Mobile Kitchen. It's blue. It's actually a trailer that he hauls around on a truck. So, yeah. So
Cool.
Give it a shot.
Good to know.
Carrabba's Italian Grill, located at 587 South Stratford Road, is no chain. This is a responsible family of restaurants. Carrabba's and their owner partners take the communities they serve very seriously. And for us, having a fantastic franchisee like Daniel certainly does not suck. And now you can feed a family of 5 at home with family-sized portions of some of your favorite Carrabba's entrees. And this, again, is a short list, but just some of the things you can choose. Spaghetti, lasagna, penne, carrabba, salmon, saporito, chicken parmesan, chicken marsala. All family meals include a side salad and bread. And there was a tease on Facebook about an announcement coming next week. So whenever I know what that announcement is, I'll bring it to you when I find something out. For more information or to find out on your own, follow their Facebook page, just Carrabba's Winston-Salem. And carrabbas.com. Now, I did drive by this past week both downtown Thai-Pho and the downtown bodega. Now, Supab was sitting outside of downtown Thai with the lights on, the open sign blinking, the doors open, and him with his feet propped up. So yeah, they're still open. I don't know why Facebook is non-existent. I haven't a clue about that. Maybe he's abandoning the social media aspect. I don't know. But it seems that downtown Thai-Pho is open. Downtown Bodega, however, is gone. It's cleaned out and empty. So hopefully Terrell finds something similar to do, or something that he's happy doing that people can come to and know about. I still say one of his biggest problems is he didn't post anything on social media. He posted a lot of stuff on his personal, but you didn't drive by and say Terrell's store. It said downtown Bodega. So if you're looking for downtown Bodega and you don't have posts for downtown Bodega, then no one's going to come to downtown Bodega. So, you know, social media may be a pain in the behind sometimes, but you need it.
Yeah. If you don't tell people who you are, where you are, and what you do, why do you think they're going to show up?
Think of social media as a sign. And what's the phrase? If you have no sign for your business, it's a sign you have no business.
Yes.
Yeah. So
for a good reason.
Yeah. Our buddy Brian Ricciardi's Dom's Dining Room is now open. If you've been dying to try the first downtown vegan restaurant but didn't want to get it to go, here's your chance. They're located at 134 North Spruce Street, so head on over there, grab some stuff, send some pictures, post pictures. I want to see it.
I mean, we know Brian just makes great food, period.
Yeah.
And we've had a chance to sample some of his vegetarian. It was like, no man, this is just good food.
Yeah.
So I'm excited that he gets to go full bore vegan and vegetarian, and we certainly wish him all the best downtown.
Yep. Carol Leggett this past week said that Murphy's Lunch is closed. He does get around to places a bit, so he may have some information that I don't know about, but according to their answering machine that I called just this morning, they're still waiting on SBA assistance. So they may be gone. I'll try to get by there this week to check and see if they actually are or are not indeed missing. Washington Perk and Provision Company, located at 301 West 4th Street. You'll find a little bit of everything at the Perk. Chip corner, a deli to get your sandwich to go. Fruits, veggies, meats, dairy from local sources. Bingo Bango sodas, located right down the hall from me here. Wolfie's Custard, a wall of beer and wine, and more. Washington Perk is better than the convenience store, but not quite a grocery store. They're on Facebook as Washington Perk or at Washington Perk _DTWS on Instagram. So people have been asking me about this and worrying that somebody's stepping on somebody's toes or something, but I can assure you that they're not. July 25th through the 31st, the Winston-Salem Journal, the Greensboro News and Record, and Eat Drink Triad will have Eat Drink Burger Week. It's a week to celebrate culinary creativity, increase visibility and engagement with the food and beverage community, and drive dine-in and carry-out orders with a little healthy competition. So, participating restaurants across the Triad will prepare a unique and delicious, and I quote, off-the-menu burger available for 1 week only. These chefs will create an $8 masterpiece. Cannot be over $8. And again, it is not on their regular menu. That will be vetted in advance to make sure that no two burgers are alike. So patrons will eat, drink, and vote online via a QR code at that restaurant. So you have to actually be at the restaurant. So you can't just say you did and vote. The champion will be presented with a trophy and bragging rights. Customers will be encouraged to share photos of their locations on Instagram for a chance to win a Yeti cooler, one of the big ones.
Ooh, those are expensive.
The Man Who Ate the Town is a media sponsor for this event. So there's your answer. It does not cross anything with My Burger Tour 21. My tour is...
The criteria is not the same.
Yeah, my tour
is... It has to be on the menu.
And it has to be, and generally I'm doing it the classic burger, not one fancy schmancy burgers. It at least has to be on the menu regularly. Like if it's, okay, we only have this burger on Thursdays, then that's still regular because you have it every Thursday.
You don't mean like every December.
Right.
You mean like
Yeah.
more frequently.
That you may skip by. Oh, crap. You know what we haven't done in a while? And then make that burger. These are specialty burgers made just for this contest. It's a fan vote situation where mine is my opinion. So we're all good. For more information, contact the Winston-Salem Journal or Greensboro News and Record at 336-727-7212. If any of my burger friends, burger restaurants or restaurants that so happen to do a burger want to get on this, call that number, ask for probably Katie, 336-727-7212. There is a cost to get into the contest, but the promotional materials will far outweigh what money you put in to this. It will be because they're going to go full out with advertising for this online and in print. So, and there will be an actual guide that's printed, I believe. So make sure you go.
Get involved.
Yeah. All right. So it's time to talk about the Country Spinner.
Let's talk.
And last week I told you that France was the one that was drawn, and we were excited about it. And it is off to a grand and delicious start.
Tell us.
This was one of my most involved meals that I've done. It featured a magnificent coq au vin with a pomme à la goût and a roasted radish salad. We searched for a good wine from Burgundy and ended up at Wine Merchants and got two really delicious hearty reds. I don't have the names of them right in front of me right now, but they were really good. They will be in the blog post when that happens. For the
them in your belly now.
Yes. For the coq au vin, which is French for rooster or cock in wine. So it's not rooster. Nobody uses rooster like that anymore. But it kept the name, so we used chicken thighs. It was difficult to find a local butcher shop with chicken thighs. All of them told me that even though that's one of the most popular cuts, nobody comes in to buy it. They had breasts, they had wings, they had whole birds, but not just the thighs. Oh well. Publix to the rescue.
And so is that the picture you sent me?
That is the picture I sent you.
Man, Tim. Y'all, you got to understand, when I looked at this picture, I said, which restaurant did you go to?
Yeah, and I said it was a Shea Beeman.
Yeah. Man, this looks so good.
So
Tell me.
I marinated 6 large thighs in one of the wines with bay leaves and thyme overnight. So when I pulled these chickens out the next day, yesterday, They were purple, which meant that it was awesome. Because I had seen a couple of French chefs talk about how people who didn't know what they were getting saw purple chicken and they freaked out and didn't want it. They thought something was wrong with it. He said, it's been marinating overnight in red wine. So, that happened overnight. So the next day it was on thick pork lardons, which is basically pork belly that's cut into about 1/4-inch chunks. Onions, carrots, baby bella mushrooms, pearl onions, garlic, cognac, which I flambéed for the first time ever.
Ooh.
Yeah, put that in there and lit that bad boy up. First try, boom. Yeah, there it was.
I was like, step back, because that beard there, my friend, that's highly flammable.
Yeah. The funny thing was, I didn't know it had actually caught, and it was like the flames were around my hand. I'm like, that's warm. And yeah, so I didn't get burnt, but I could have. So a lot of stirring, simmering, and waiting with this dish, truly. Adding things a little bit at a time, going through the proper. In the Dutch oven that I have, put the lardons in first, and got that without any other fat, because the lardons put off a good bit of pork fat right there of their own. Then I seared the chicken breasts, the thighs, in 2 batches on both sides for about 3 to 4 minutes, so they browned up. Then moved them to a plate, put the onions and carrots in, and half the mushrooms, and then later, after I poured all the stuff back in there, and even the marinade that I had saved, put that in there, a little bit of flour to thicken it up. Then on another pan, I did the pearl onions in butter and olive oil, and then the other half of the mushrooms in there, garlic, and added it all back in there and just let it sit, and served it up afterwards. And then the Pomes à la go was a recommendation from Street Team Steven. It's basically a very creamy, very cheesy mashed potatoes. You pick it up, and when you pick it up with the spatula, it's just like strings of mashed potatoes. So, yeah. So I 2 pounds of Yukon Gold potatoes, peeled, chunked, boiled with the whole garlic clove and thyme sprigs for about 20-25 minutes. Discard the thyme, and then put it all in my Ninja food processor. And I put like a whole stick of butter in there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it called for. And so I'm all right, here we go. And as it was pureeing down, I put it back in the pot, or the saucepan, and put in the heavy whipping cream. And when it got to a certain consistency, I added both Gruyere and Comte cheese, and it was like a regular table bowl that you eat cereal out of, a regular size one. It was piled high in that bowl full of cheese that I had mixed the two together, and I put them in a little bit at a time, and the longer I went, it was like stringy, and man, it was so good. And Stephanie had looked up, she wanted something green to go with this, so she found she wanted a country salad of some sort, and there was a roasted radish and snap pea salad with a vinaigrette made from honey Dijon and Dijon mustard and lemon juice and something else. I don't know what it was, but she also made for dessert a plum pie. So, and we drank the other bottle of Fantastic Red with this. So for us, France, round 1 was a solid winner. The flavors of that coq au vin was amazing. It was fall off the bone, so you just put your fork near it and it was falling off and ready for you to eat, and flavors were fantastic. I was very proud of it.
And it really sounds just excellent.
It was a long, arduous process. Again, it was a lot of stirring and waiting in between stuff. But I was working on the other things too, so I didn't have time to sit down. So when I sat down to eat with candlelight and lowered overhead ambiance and the red wine, when I stood up afterwards, I'm like,
so, I'm just gonna take a little.
Yeah, that was hard, but it was so good. So look for upcoming. There's got to be a video, at least a recipe coming for the 2 dishes or 3 things from Mauritius, the 2 things from Malawi, and this coming. Some videos, some I did not do. So you'll see some stuff if they turn out well. This is my first attempt at this, and I'm doing all of it myself, and especially with recipes that I've not tried before. You know, am I doing this right? And then I forget a step, or not forget a step, but I skip something. I have to go back, and it just in the video is not looking right.
It sounds fantastic. I'm a little envious.
Well, kind of. You should be. It was
How many
that good.
weeks are we? How many weeks are we going to stay in France?
Until we're tired of it.
2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. Until we're tired of it.
We were going to go around the world, but we got to Paris, and well, we just can't leave.
Yep. And the good thing about this is the things that we're choosing aren't necessarily from Paris. They're all over the country. I know Stephen also sent us a recipe for a salade lyonnaise from Lyon, which is, some people consider that the culinary capital of France, which in turn would be probably the culinary capital of the world, because I think France is the culinary capital of the world in my eyes. So yeah, so that's going to be one thing, and there will be a ratatouille coming. It's actually a confit, I don't remember, it's confit biennale or something like that. It's the ratatouille we see in the movie Ratatouille. Ratatouille itself truly is a stew, but the made up stuff is, where it's not made up, but prepared and pretty is called something else, a kind of ratatouille. So, yeah. So there's going to be, and I have a torch. So there will be some creme brulee made at home, and we're going to do some stuff. So we could spend a month, 3 months, I don't know, in France, when we get tired of doing that, or just want something new. And I don't see us getting tired of it, but probably just wanting something new.
Well, it's like, we set out to tour the world. All right, 3 countries in. Now we're feeling really comfortable here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
I get it.
That's our favorite. We're such Francophiles, as I said last week. So there are a lot of things, and we're going to explore the entire country, not just Paris and not just Lyon, actually. So we will check back next week. I don't know that we're doing anything next week because, this week coming, because it's Father's Day, and I really don't want to cook, honestly.
But that would be a wonderful Father's Day gift, is just to have somebody help you out with that. Nice French meal for Daddy's Day.
Yeah, like my son, I sent him the pictures too. He's like, "Man, that looks good." He said, "I'll have to try that." I said, "I'll have to buy the wine for you."
It's funny that he could go cook with it, but he can't go buy it.
Right.
Not yet.
That's right. So let's talk burgers. We're still holding steady at 98 on the list right now, and I only had one official burger this week, and that was from A Slice of Napoli on Country Club Road. That brings my total to 32 out of the 98 that I've tried.
Doing well.
Yeah.
Slipping a little bit that there's only one burger in a week, but won't give you any more grief about that.
Right. Well,
So-
I actually had other burgers that were not official because of time and just want. And Stephanie says, how many of those burgers were recreational and how many were official? And I said, a couple of them. She just looked at me. She didn't say anything else, but that side eye was enough for me to know that, well, you messed up.
Yeah.
So
She doesn't have to speak to be able to communicate.
right. Oh no, she never does. She just looks at me and just slightly raises the eyebrow, like giving me that really look. And once I get that really look, then I went to bed feeling like I had done something majorly wrong. So the next day I sent her a picture of the salad that I had for lunch.
It cracks me up that you're talking about recreational burgers.
Yeah. That's what she said. So I'm like, yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. Or
I ate it just because I wanted one.
I should have played,
That's what she said.
but yeah, I just plus I didn't have time to go get one. Other than this, we were already going to a party in Louisville, and Slice of Napoli is on the outskirts of Winston, heading towards Louisville. So that's pretty much what we did.
So without giving any rankings away, what'd you think? Was it it's a pizza joint.
Yeah.
Did they make a decent burger?
Yes. Yes.
It's like pulling teeth to get something out of
I know.
these.
I'm gonna say this much. It was better when my son worked there and made burgers. I'm saying that because that's one of his favorite things to make.
Yeah.
I think for Daniel and Liz over there at A Slice of Napoli, I believe it's on the menu for somebody who's just not in the mood for a pizza. So it was worth eating. It
Okay.
was better when my son was there. Because
I
that's
can
his thing.
appreciate that does skew the bias. Just
Yeah.
a hair.
Yeah, well, the bias not because it was my son's making it, because my son knows how to make it. it was really good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's really all I can say with that.
Well, we look forward to seeing where they fall in the final
Yeah.
98 ranking.
Yep. You may or may not know that. I don't know if I'm going to if I'm going to display the whole list. I will tell you where I've eaten, but I don't know that it'll be in any kind of order other than the top whatever I pick.
Okay.
Because
So
I'm
maybe it's
diplomatic.
top 10, top 20, and then everything else is just, these were all below that.
Right. Now, you have special privileges, so you may get to see that list. But
I'm going to be asking.
yeah,
'Cause,
yeah.
I want to know the top.
Yeah.
I want to know the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I've already told you the bottom, but not on the air.
No, not on the air.
Yeah.
Not on the air. You won't give out anything on the air.
No.
I try, but
I try to just be diplomatic and again
done that very well.
and mysterious too. I want it to be a reveal.
mm-hmm. We're curious to see where it all falls out. We know that it can't be the same top list that we had a couple of years ago because some of those places just don't exist now.
Right.
So yeah, it'll be fun to see.
Yep. So Food Holidays are sponsored by Mojito Latin Soul Food, mentioned earlier. It's your go-to Cuban and Latin-inspired restaurant. Their Cuban sandwich is, to me, hands down the best sandwich in town. All the flavors punch you in the tongue, and the sandwich is made with the tradition that Michael grew up with. Mojito Latin Soul Food does Rezzies. They do takeout. They have a rather large outdoor patio, and they do deliveries to surrounding businesses like Fiddle and Fish, Broad Branch, and Wise Man, and a couple of others, I'm sure. Check them out on their Facebook page and MojitoLatinSoulFood.com. Today is the 14th of June. It is National Strawberry Shortcake Day.
Oh, that's a good day.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
It's World Cucumber Day.
Yeah, hey, you can have that.
You don't like cucumbers?
I don't mind them as pickles.
You don't like them as what they are.
I don't like cucumbers.
You don't like raw pickles.
Yes, that's exactly right. I don't like a raw pickle.
It's like
My grandfather-
pickle sushi then.
My grandfather spoiled me, I guess, when I was a kid, because he's like, man, when I lived on the farm, even the hogs wouldn't eat those cucumbers. Don't put them on my salad. I can't stand the taste. It leaves flavor on my lettuce. I don't want that cucumber even touching anything I'm going to eat.
Yeah.
So that kind of got stuck in my head.
See,
I
I
really
used-
just don't like cucumbers.
I used to eat cucumbers a lot. Now I eat them whenever I can. But yeah, I like it too. I like taking like lime and cucumber and putting it in water and let it infuse for a little bit.
Yep.
It's also today, and I'm really, really happy about this one, National Bourbon Day.
Yes.
Yeah. I have
Tomorrow is National Hangover Day.
I have a bottle of Benchmark, which is not top-notch bourbon, but it's a good bourbon at a very good price. So if you just like to drink bourbon and you don't need to go out and have your gourmet bottle of bourbon, Benchmark is a good one to have. It's not local, but there are local ones like Broad Branch that we had on the show when they were releasing theirs.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I
would you
had
put them in a top shelf category?
I would put them in a premium category.
Okay.
So it's not it's not a well drink bourbon. It's not Aristocrat, but I don't think I don't know that it can stand up to Makers or it's definitely not Pappy Van Winkle and stuff like that. So I believe that it is definitely on the shelf. But it's small batch, so that itself gives it a little bit of higher prestige because, it is rare, and they did a good job with it. They really did. On the day, the 14th in 1988, unusual uses for peanut butter sandwiches here. In New Jersey, students in a school were kept in an extra 45 minutes by a 6-foot black bear that had wandered into the playground. They kept it.
Oh my God.
They kept it at bay by tossing out peanut butter sandwiches until the game warden arrived to take him away. Now, this is 1988 because if it had been 2008 or 2018, peanut butter is not even allowed in schools anymore. So
Is it not?
no, because there's
it
too
peanut
many
allergy?
kids peanut allergies. Which
That-
I have theories about that. I believe that the peanut allergy is real. I know a nut allergy is real because I had a friend just lost her 10-year-old daughter to it. But I find that Stephanie worked in a Title I school, which if you don't know what that means, it's free and reduced lunch, and
They're getting a lot of extra.
they're getting a lot of extra support, and it's just not the affluent school.
Right.
They didn't have any peanut allergies. But when she did student teaching at some of the upper echelon schools, half the students there had peanut allergies. So I think that peanut allergies, no, not necessarily mental, I think it's an economic thing. And why I think it's economic, not that, if you have money, you have an allergy. I mean, that they are eating other things more, other things that for some reason are giving them allergic reactions to stuff. Now, that's my theory. I have no scientific basis. So don't write me and tell me that I'm a buffoon and don't know what I'm talking about. I'm telling you right up front, I probably don't know what I'm talking about. But I just find it odd that the affluent schools have peanut allergies and not a child one that we knew of at the less affluent schools. None of them had it. So it's just something
I hear
to
you,
think
because
about.
I remember right after my freshman year of college, I didn't have a great summer. I didn't actually get work until late in the summer, so I was scrambling.
Yeah.
And it's what I call the summer of peanut butter, because I went and bought one of those giant tubs of peanut butter and a loaf of bread, and my gosh, that thing will sustain you for a week.
Yes.
You get ready to eat something else.
Oh yeah.
Tired of peanut butter,
As much as I love peanut butter, and we know that I do.
You do. Yes, you do.
We just have to sometimes get away from it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. You're right, that in a low economic scenario, peanut butter is a staple.
Yeah. On the 14th in 2007, Colgate-Palmolive Company warned that counterfeit toothpaste falsely packaged as Colgate has been found in 4 states and may contain the poisonous chemical. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. Its initials are DG. That's all I'm going to say. The counterfeit toothpaste can easily be recognized because it is labeled as manufactured in South Africa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. In 2011, on the 14th, the Los Angeles Unified School District agreed to remove flavored milk, chocolate, and strawberry from its menus to help combat childhood obesity, which I think is a bit ridiculous.
Well,
how about stop feeding them that sheet pizza crap? That's probably part of it. I mean,
yeah,
that's
nasty.
Okay, well, get off that. I'm not even going to put that. I'm not even going to get the soapbox out for that. In 2020, for coronavirus update, Beijing, China on partial lockdown as new coronavirus cases emerge. More than 20 U.S. states see an increase in average daily cases. Some states slow reopening while others continue reopening process. Let me see what that got most of them. On the 15th, it's National Lobster Day, which officially has been moved to September 25th by Maine senators in 2015, but June 15th is still widely celebrated. The 15th is also Potato with an E Day, and we'll find out why. On the 15th in 1752, so tomorrow, is the anniversary of Benjamin Franklin flying a kite to prove a connection between lightning and electricity. In 1844, on the 15th, Charles Goodyear was granted a patent for vulcanization, a rubber curing process that converts natural rubber into a more durable material. So live long and prosper for your tires. Vulcanization. In 1851, Jacob Fussell, a Baltimore dairyman, opens the first commercial ice cream factory.
What a beautiful day that was.
In 1859, the Pig War on one of San Juan Islands between the U.S. Washington Territory and Vancouver Island, British Columbia. A pig owned by an employee of the Hudson's Bay Company breaks into a potato patch of American squatter who shoots and kills the pig. The subsequent confrontation nearly triggers a British-American war over the boundary between the U.S. and Canada. The dispute was not completely resolved until 1872. That is 13 years later. Yeah.
That's a little crazy.
In 1869, John Hyatt Jr. and his brother Isaiah received a patent for a new and improved method of manufacturing solid collodion and its compounds, which means nothing to us, but Isaiah later named the material celluloid, the very first synthetic plastic.
Yeah.
In 1958, on the 15th, Pizza Hut was born. 18-year-old Frank Carney sees a story in the Saturday Evening Post about the pizza fad among teenagers and college students. With $600 borrowed from his mother, he and his brother Dan opened the first Pizza Hut in Wichita, Kansas.
And the rest is just history.
Yep. In 1992, at a spelling bee in Trenton, New Jersey, U.S. President Dan Quayle corrects a student's spelling of potato by telling him it should have an E at the end. Potato. Potato.
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave that right there.
I see you struggling to find just that right balance of something to say.
Yeah.
I do remember that, oddly enough. I remember that.
Yeah.
He was chief idiot in charge.
Yes. In 1999, on the 15th, Nicholas Vitalik is arrested for assaulting his girlfriend with a large tuna outside a San Diego supermarket. He was charged with assault with a deadly weapon. I'm not laughing because that he assaulted his girlfriend. That's bad, and hope he got all that he could for that. But the fact that it was assault with a deadly weapon, that's
a deadly tuna.
Yeah.
Of course, have you seen how big some of those things?
Oh yeah. I wish they would have told us how big it was.
Yeah. Well, you're reminiscent to a line from a favorite movie where they were supposed to cut down the largest tree in the forest with a herring.
A herring, that's right. 2020, there are no consistent measures for airline employees or passengers to follow, leaving potential travelers anxious and confused. Restaurants in Paris reopened. EU countries were opening to travel, but only to other EU countries. More than 40,000 cruise ship workers still were stuck at sea after 3 months on the 15th of June. And at the time, U.S. coronavirus cases were more than 2,162,140 with over 117.8 thousand deaths. Global cases were more than 7.988 million, with deaths over 435,000. Today, that was a year ago, 7,988,615. Today, total global cases 176,796,990 cases, with 3,821,036 deaths. On the 16th, Ray, brace yourself.
Ready.
National Fudge Day.
They heard.
They heard.
They responded. There's a day for fun.
Oh, fudge.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. And it's also Fresh Veggies Day. Not to be confused with Eat Your Veggies Day. Just so you know.
Right. And not to be confused with frozen veggies. These are all fresh veggies.
Right on. Right on. On the 16th in 1891, George A. Hormel founded George A. Hormel and Company as a small retail store in Austin, Minnesota. And then he went on to his company anyway, made Spam.
Yep. Among others. And Hormel ended up being a big brand.
Yep. In 1893, R.W. Ruckheim invents Cracker Jack, a popcorn, peanut, and molasses confection. It was introduced at the Columbian Exposition in Chicago. R.W.'s brother Louis perfected the secret formula in 1896, which prevents the molasses-coated popcorn from sticking together. No, it doesn't.
I didn't realize that it was molasses that was in it.
Yeah.
That to me is an interesting little tidbit.
It does not keep it from sticking together.
No, it's always sticking together.
Yeah.
That's what makes it good.
Yeah. The prize in each box was introduced in 1912.
And we're generally pretty lame.
Yes, but for us kids, it was top-notch
them.
stuff. I wanted my magnifying spyglass. I wanted my fake tattoos.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we would dig those out before we'd eat the popcorn and peanuts, right?
Yeah, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Split that box because, putting your hand down in there trying to get to it.
Because then it just all comes out and spills out on the floor, and then you lose half the box. Yeah, you're right. You got to split the box open just right.
Yep.
You are truly the Cracker Jack aficionado because you know those things.
And what I loved most about that was the peanuts. Because the peanuts, and I don't know why I liked this so much, but peanuts had a bit of a metallic taste to them. I guess the peanuts with the molasses mixed was what caused that, but
Yeah.
it was something about it that I'm like, yeah, I want more of that. I would go through and pick that out over the popcorn.
Oh, yeah. The molasses and peanuts really just work so well together.
Yep.
Yeah.
On the
Then
6th.
again, I didn't know it was molasses.
There you go. I like to be informative. On the 16th in 1903, the 1-year-old at the time Pepsi Cola Company registered the Pepsi Cola trademark with the patent office. Its original name was Brad's Drink after Caleb Bradham, the pharmacist who developed the formula at his drugstore in New Bern, North Carolina.
Well, there you go. Roots Pepsi or Carolina.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think Brad's Drink would not have been anywhere near successful.
Yeah. No.
Just the name.
Yeah, well, yeah. I agree. And his name wasn't even Brad. That was just a nickname. I mean, it was part of his last name, but, it wasn't his name. In 1960, on the 16th, Alfred Hitchcock's classic thriller Psycho premiered. It was the first film to show a toilet flushing.
Huh.
Ain't that some shit?
Ain't that? And, new ideas on what to do in the shower.
Yeah. It's a scream. In 1980, on the 16th, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in Diamond versus Chakrabarty that living genetically engineered microorganisms are patentable. So, yay for that. Well,
Creatures are patents.
the 16th was Fresh Veggies Day, and I said not to confuse it with, on the 17th is Eat Your Vegetables Day. So,
A little different. But 2 days this week for veggies.
yeah.
Big veggie week.
Well, I mean, it didn't say anything about eating the veggies on the 16th. It was just Fresh Veggies Day. Look, there's some veggies.
Look, they're fresh.
Eat them the next day.
They're not fresh today, but you can have some.
It's also National Apple Strudel Day, National Stewart's Root Beer Day. I like Stewart's Root Beer. It's really good. World Tapas Day, which is always the third Thursday in June. It was designated by Spain's Tourism Institute in 2016. On the 17th in 1860, the 692-foot-long iron sailing steamship, the SS Great Eastern, the largest ship ever built at the time, began its first transatlantic voyage. Originally scheduled to sail on the 16th, the captain delayed the voyage until the 17th because his crew was drunk.
All right, guys, we sail tomorrow. Drink up. No, we really can't. We can't leave. We're all hang up.
Yeah. The ship had a capacity of 4,000 passengers.
Wow, that's a lot of fun.
Yep.
In one structure.
Yeah. On the 17th in 1862, W.H. Fancher and C.M. French of Waterloo, New York, received a patent for an improved ordnance plow, which was a combined plow and gun. What? Yeah, I don't know.
What? Well, you know, when you run into that wild kudzu out there, you better be ready to kill it.
Yeah.
It's the
law of the West.
What is it? Blood on the scarecrow, blood on the plow.
Yeah. Yes.
I put it there, by God, I shot it. Shot it down. I shot the plow.
I did not shoot the scarecrow.
What kind of insanity would you create a plow with a gun?
I don't know. This was 1862.
Okay, so things were still a little wild in the country now, but why would you want
in New York
in the plow? How are you going to aim? Excuse me, Bessie, take a hard right. I need to shoot this snake over here. No, keep turning. There you go. Hold still.
See,
all right.
What I envision is like, you know, at those carnival things where the gun's like on a swivel.
Yeah.
And you yeah. You know, WH, what we need? What's that, CM? We need a plow with a gun on it. Well, yes, we do. Let's get that patented. Let's do it. It's an improved ordnance plow.
You know, I'm wondering what would happen if we put a bazooka on there. I bet that'd really kick that up a notch.
Yeah. And would they not have to be careful of shooting the animal that's the beast of burden that's pulling them?
That's part of what I'm thinking. It's like, yeah, okay, whatever. And now most of us have no idea why you would even need a plow.
Right, yeah. Unless you're a farmer, you don't.
Right.
Yeah. In 1872, George M. Hoover arrived in Dodge City. He was the second settler there and opened the first business. Of course, it was a saloon. Whiskey was 25 cents at the time.
Wow. Wish it was that price today.
Me too. In 1947, on the 17th, Pan Am inaugurated the first round-the-world passenger service when the Lockheed Constellation Clipper America, with 21 passengers, 9 crew members, and 400 pounds of food, departed from LaGuardia Airport in New York, bound for San Francisco. The long way around.
Wow.
The trip covered more than 20,000 miles in 13 days, with 92 hours, 43 minutes of flight time, landing in 17 cities and 10 countries.
Man. And now, doesn't even take you a day to go all the way around.
Well, and I think smarter people would just go from New York to San Francisco across our country instead of having to go all the way around.
Yeah, that would actually make a little more sense.
Yeah.
Let's take the short route.
Yeah, the shortest distance between 2 points.
Always a straight line.
Yeah. And I'm sure they went somewhat. Yeah. Well, and I guess that could have been a straight line there, just a long way around, but that's not the shortest shortest distance. On the 17th in 2020, there's a lot of things to talk about for 2020. Quaker Oats announced they are retiring the Aunt Jemima pancake brand and logo that have been long criticized as perpetuating stereotypes of the racial nature. For the same reasons, Mars Company announced that they are planning to change the branding and logo of Uncle Ben's Rice, and Conagra will review the branding and packaging of Mrs. Butterworth's syrup. Also in 2020, former CEO of Bumblebee Foods was sentenced to a 40-month jail term and a $100,000 fine for his role in a canned tuna price-fixing conspiracy involving Bumblebee, StarKist, and Chicken of the Sea brands. And
Wherever there is money, there will be an opportunity.
Yep. And we talked about on the 15th about the airlines not having any rules to follow. On the 17th, most airlines banned alcohol sales to minimize passenger crew interaction. Yeah, I don't think it's interaction as much as wanting to keep people settled down and keep that damn mask on. Gas prices rise as states reopen. Average price of gas is $2.10, which
Man,
I wish it was still that. I'm running on fumes right now, and I'm like, I don't want to go get gas. And in 2020, on the 17th, drive-in restaurants become popular as safe places to eat. On the 18th, it's National Cherry Tart Day.
Who are you calling a tart?
International Picnic Day.
Oh,
A day that I'm sure my dad will participate in. It's National Go Fishing Day.
oh, there you go.
And
There you go. That's
and
a
part
good
that I participate in, I hope, is International Sushi Day.
Which day is that? That's Thursday?
Friday.
Friday. Sushi. Okay.
Yeah.
I love sushi.
I do
didn't used
too.
Just the thought of sushi, baby.
Yeah.
But then I tried it, and I was like,
Yeah.
there's a reason why billions of people around the world eat sushi.
Yeah. Funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
I have a friend who will not eat anything that's not cooked beyond recognition because he doesn't want the parasites. Said properly handled food does not give you parasites.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So you would rather have the carcinogens from overcooking on a grill than,
Yes.
to like a crisp charcoal-like consistency. That's a good trade-off there.
So, some people, you just can't help it.
No, that's true. Especially that one. In 1892, on the 18th, macadamia nuts were first planted in Hawaii.
Oh,
In
where'd they
1890,
come from?
I don't know. I'm sure it's an
Generally,
Asian
where do you
thing.
hear-
It sounds like it would be somewhere in like the South Pacific or something. In 1898, Atlantic City, New Jersey opened its Steel Pier. That's the boardwalk. The world famous Steel Pier had 9 miles of food, beverages, concessions, amusements, concerts, and more. Ed McMahon of the Johnny Carson Show and Publishers Clearinghouse fame was a barker on the pier in his youth.
Interesting.
I can see him.
Yes! In
You are
1964,
right, sir.
the African Groundnut Council was formed in Dakar.
Ground council?
Yeah, I don't know what the Groundnut Council is.
I don't think I want my nuts ground.
I don't either. So it's those Senegalese people over there, you know. Dakar is the capital of Senegal, so or Senegal.
Yeah. What ground nuts?
I don't know what groundnuts are.
Maybe that's just the thing they've got there.
What are groundnuts?
Assuming that that's something that's not a verb.
Yeah, that would be grind nuts.
You think it would not be good?
All right, so are groundnuts legumes? We've established that groundnuts aren't, as their name would lead us to believe, nuts at all. What are groundnuts then? Are groundnuts legumes. The groundnut, a climbing vine, is a member of the pea or bean family and distantly related to the soybean. It can be found from Ontario and Quebec to the Gulf of Mexico and from the western prairies to the Atlantic coastline here in the United States. Groundnuts get their name from the bulb-like tubers that grow from the root system. They may be tiny, the size of a pine nut, to as big as an avocado.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah, the outside of growing groundnuts are brown, while their interior, once peeled, is firm and white. The plant itself has pinnate compound leaves with 5 to 7 leaflets. Vine-like, the plant twines around the shrubs and plants of the forest. They can be eaten. They can be eaten raw, but are usually boiled or roasted and then added into soups and stews. Mild in flavor, they are used much like a potato, though more nutritious. They contain 3 times the protein of a potato. I don't know why I keep saying potato. They can also be stored much like potatoes in a cool, dry area for a lengthy period of time. They are a cultivated crop. As a cultivated crop, have been attempted in Europe twice. First during the Great Potato Famine, which failed results. The reason the tubers require 2 to 3 years to maturity, whereas potatoes only need 1 growing season.
Yeah.
So, there you go. That's all I really need to read. So now we know.
We do know.
They're like
Much more.
Yeah. So there you go.
And there's no E at the end of that either.
No. Well, Dan Quayle, the potato he buys, the groundnuts he buys. In 1993, on the 18th, the so-called killer bees, Africanized honeybees, have reached Tucson, Arizona. A small dog was killed from a bee attack. Their original source was Brazil, where African bees were imported for experimental cross-breeding. And they got loose.
Yeah, it was really poor choice.
Yeah. In 2020, to mask or not to mask, that is the question. 10 states have the highest new cases since the pandemic started on the 18th in 2020. The 19th is Juneteenth. It's commemoration of the ending of slavery in the United States since 1865. But to most white people, that was unknown until just a couple of years ago. My mother didn't even know what it was until last year. Luckily, we have my wife, who worked at Old Salem in St. Philip's, which was the African American church, and that's where they read much later than what the Emancipation Proclamation said, and telling them that they were free. Finally. But they did that on the, not that there, but the official commemoration was June 19th. On the 19th, in 1586, English colonists sailed from Roanoke Island, North Carolina, after failing to establish England's first permanent settlement in America. I guess that went on to be Jamestown or whatever. On the 19th, in 1910, Father's Day was observed for the first time in Spokane, Washington, initiated by Sonora Smart Dodd. In 1966, President Johnson issued the first presidential proclamation designated the third Sunday in June as Father's Day. It was not made a permanent U.S. holiday until 1972.
You'd think that Father's Day would really have been further back than 72.
Yeah.
It is interesting that Father's Day came before Mother's Day as a holiday, and yet it took decades longer for Father's Day to be recognized as a national holiday. For Mother's Day, it was like, oh yeah, of course, we need to do that right now.
Yeah.
Anything for Mama. Dad, you're gonna wait.
Too bad, you're out of luck. On the On the 19th, in 1912, the United States government adopted an 8-hour workday. In
If only we
1931,
could stick to just 8.
yeah, I need more. The first commercial doors operated by a photoelectric cell were installed on the swinging doors between the kitchen and dining room of Wilcox's Pier Restaurant in West Haven, Connecticut. In 1931. That's longer
pretty
ago
cool.
than I thought.
Much
And
further back than I would have pictured.
on the 19th in 1978, which means that he is 43. It's Garfield, the lasagna eating cat, was born. He was brought into this world by cartoonist Jim Davis. In 1987, on the 19th, Ben and Jerry's ice cream introduced a new ice cream flavor, probably their most famous flavor, Cherry Garcia.
Can I just go back half a second and say, I think I prefer Hobbs over Garfield.
Okay. I liked the snarkiness of Garfield.
Yeah.
I was a big
Yeah.
fan of that. I liked the
Calvin and
cartoon
Hobbes made me
too.
laugh more.
Okay. In 2009, the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, or FAO, projected the number of people on the brink of starvation is set to reach a record high of 1.02 billion in 2009, which is 1/6 of the world population.
That's sad.
Yep, it's probably more than that now.
Not
And
enough for everybody.
we do. In 2020, all Californians ordered to wear face coverings in public. Florida, Arizona, Texas, Nevada, Oklahoma, and Oregon all report record new cases. India reports a record spike in cases. McDonald's said they're hiring 260,000 workers this summer. I don't know if they did. Subway, Yum Brands, Taco Bell, and other fast food outlets also plan to hire tens of thousands of workers. But no one wants to work there. That's the thing. That's the problem. No one wants to work anywhere. 6/20, first day of summer this year. Summer solstice in the northern hemisphere, the longest day of the year, the shortest day in the southern hemisphere. It's also Father's Day, so happy Father's Day, Ray. And to
Thank
all
you.
the listeners who are fathers,
And happy Father's Day to you as well.
thank you. You should cook your father his favorite meal if you can. National Turkey Lovers Day is also the third Sunday of June. So
That is not to say that fathers are turkeys.
that's true. Unless, as long as you love me, I'm okay because you're a turkey lover. Then there you go. It's National Vanilla Milkshake Day and Ice Cream Soda Day.
Vanilla would be your favorite.
It would. In 1484, on the 20th, the date given by Robert Burton in his Anatomy of Melancholy, for when the Pied Piper led all the children of Hamelin, Germany, away. The book came out in 1621, but he said it happened on the 20th in 1484. In 1819, at 6 p.m., the first steamship to cross the Atlantic, the American steamship SS Savannah, arrived at Liverpool. It had sailed from Savannah on May 22nd. I think we talked about that on May 22nd, or for that date. In 1837, the beginning of the Victorian era, King William IV died, and his 18-year-old niece Victoria became Queen of the United Kingdom of Britain and Ireland. Her reign lasted for 63 years, which was a long, respectable reign, but pales in comparison to the one that her, I guess, several times descendant Elizabeth II has served. In
It's
2000,
remarkable that she's still on the throne.
she is, and would you want to give it to Charles? Come on.
No.
No.
No. And you know why? One word. Diana.
Well, yes, kind of. But I think...
The way he treated her.
Well, yes, again, but I think he was kind of cajoled into doing that whole marriage thing anyway. He didn't want to marry her. He loved her. He didn't want to marry her. He wanted to marry Camilla.
Right. And was willing to cheat on Diana with her. So I look at that and go, dude, it's a big issue.
Well, none of the family is innocent of all that. So, except Elizabeth.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm with you. I don't know that Charles would have been the right ruler. Maybe his kids.
I think William will be good.
I see his kids making some different decisions and approaching the world with a little bit of a different attitude.
Yep. In 2004, on the 20th, Bacardi agrees to acquire Grey Goose vodka.
Oh,
I like Grey Goose vodka. It's French, at least in origin. And I know most vodka is Russian or Polish, but I like Grey Goose. I like the flavor of it.
well, you're allowed. A legend.
Thank you. On the 20th in 2020, Dreyer's Ice Cream will rename their Eskimo Pie. I don't know what they named it to, due to its racially tinged name. I did not understand. I did not know that calling someone who is an Eskimo an Eskimo was considered racial, but that's okay.
I didn't see that as a racial slur at all.
I didn't either. But
That's just
no,
an Eskimo. And it kind of makes sense when you're talking about a frozen dessert to use a word that would be associated with cold places.
yeah, I don't, whatever makes them sleep better at night. I'll go with it.
Okay.
In 2020, the National Restaurant Association reports that the restaurant industry losses tied to the coronavirus equals $120 billion.
I bet it's way past that now.
Oh, yeah. Cruise lines suspend all trips from United States ports until September 15th. And they're still, most of them, in holding patterns right now. So, well, hold on. Where's it at? Okay, special thanks to, that's all your food holidays and history for this week. Special thanks to James Ehler at foodreference.com for making us chuckle, roll our eyes, wondering why in the wide world of sports, or in our case, the honey baked hell, would we need a gun on a plow? I think that's the biggest one. That was just why
Yeah.
Mr.
So
French
random.
and his partner decided they needed to do that. Well, The Man Who Ate the Town, the almost award-winning podcast, is part of the Less Desirables Podcast Network, where along with this podcast, you can listen to the award-winning The Less Desirables, The Beer Dads, Fan Interference, Beeswax Vinyl, and more, the award-winning Wheeler's Dog, and Asylum Tales from the Devereaux Diaries podcast. You can find all of these podcasts and their latest episodes on our network website and directory, tldpodnetwork.com. You'll also find social media links for each one there as well. All right, so this is a reminder to all the listeners, and it's just good practice, not just now, but for always. Wash your damn hands. Wash with warm water and soap. Wash with that soap for about 20 seconds or more. And if you don't know how long 20 seconds is, just sing along to this.
That train, pound cocaine.
Don't do cocaine, though.
Casey Jones, you better watch your speed. Trouble ahead, trouble behind. And know that notion just crossed my mind. This old engine.
The album, Working Man's Dead, from the Grateful Dead, Cherry Garcia himself, is 51 years old today.
Very cool. If only they could watch us dance when we're playing music.
I know. I'm kind of glad they can't.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, there would be a riot. There would. They'd be like, stop that! Stop that!
That's why I always say there. You know, it's against the law for me to dance in like 9 states, especially and including this one.
Yeah. I've actually been banned from dancing in certain establishments, like where I used to work.
Yeah. So keep an eye on my blog and this podcast to find out more about the food news and happenings around town. If you have any food news, send us an email to Tim or Ray or Leah at themanwhoatethetown.com. You can also contact us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter Instant Messengers. Like us on Facebook. On Twitter, we are manwho8 the town. On Instagram, we are manwho8thetown. And now we invite you to call and leave a voicemail for the podcast. Actually, any podcast on the TLD network, you can call 336-422-6862. That's right, 336-422 number. Leave us a voicemail, and we will play it on the podcast. Again, 336-422-6862. Well, my name's Tim.
My name's Ray.
And we are closing this recipe trunk. Until next time, thank you for reading. Thank you for listening. Bon appetit. And happy Father's Day.
Yamas.
The views and opinions stated by me or any of my guests are solely those of ours and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of our hosting companies, distributors, enemies, friends, or relatives. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced or distributed without express written consent of the man who ate the town, that's me, and Such Limited Inc. However, if you ask nicely, we'll probably let you.